We fucked it right in the pussy.
I can't leave that in my videos. Oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Sorry.
I'm gonna go grab another alcoholic beverage.
Okay, that's Lucas. Yep. 6 feet. How tall are you?
6'6".
6 feet and a half extra foot of sass. We're watching regular car reviews over there, but definitely made it work with 2 nut-sized hoses.
I'm 66.
So, be appropriate. Age appropriate. Oh, that's cool. You can open a beer with a knife. Who would have thunk? Yeah, look at the proximity between those 2 hoses. It was just absurd and close and didn't quite work for anything. So, I used my adapter here, and that's holding my temp sensor. So now I actually have a reading on the top hose, which is important. And it's gonna loop around. It's gonna look kind of crazy. It's really ugly, but it's something. And then on the bottom, pretty straightforward. It looks exactly like this. Like they actually got the fitment pretty close. Needs 2 inches more on either end, or one or the other.
I've heard that before.
Yep, just like other things in life, 2 inches too short. And it's gonna be perfect. So hopefully what we cut off of that hose is gonna work down there. We'll find out in a second. But at least the major hurdle is over. I really thought we were gonna have to go here.
No.
You know, that would have just been nuts.
It's far from perfect, but it's definitely functional with what we managed to salvage sight unseen off of AutoZone.
Looks good from far, but far from good. Okay, Arthur is on. He is warming up, and this is sort of the moment of truth here where if the fans turn on, that'd be great. I had to reverse the polarity on it because it was wired, you know, backwards. So it's going to be a push fan. It's going to turn on at 160. That's the preset. I could take it down to 90, and I think all the way up to 200 or 210. So I also have a manual override on the fans. It's getting warm. Sounds like a friggin' tractor though. Let's see how my AFRs are doing. 12.7, 12.8. 13. Alright, can't complain. Temperature, right about 110. Everything else is good. There's the engine temp. Yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on that one. It's already past halfway, so hopefully we'll get somewhere with this. I'm just using water for the moment, and then I'm going to be adding, those are my door panels, I'm going to be adding super coolant. Oh, water wetter. I used super coolant last time. I didn't really care for it. Water wetter, used with plain old water, 202 degrees, low temp. Otherwise 50-50, 228, and stuff in the middle. Alright, here we go. It's 5 a.m. The moths have gone to sleep and the flies have woken up. I'm about to hit the hay. Feels really good to take my time and do things right. This is the radiator support from Shelby 2.0, and it's a darker shade of green, but it's better than red, yellow, black, white. So there's that. You can see where I bent the baffles to make room for the radiator. Right now I'm working on wiring in the controller for this fan. So I want to make sure I'm doing good by that. Notice you can see, you know, the welds right there, but they kind of taper off. Everything's just messed up here. Somebody mentioned that I might have a 69 radiator which has backward mounts, which is why my mounts were opposite. Who knows? They don't really market it by year. They just sort of spit it out. Okay. I hate that there's all these hoses and lines, but we'll see what we can do to maybe clean that up. It's kind of where we're at the moment. I need to sort of take a break and then give it an existential look tomorrow. Let it know how I feel. I did add some wires, you know, from that controller in here. I still have a few more to go and then clean it all up. Let's go into the starter. I've got new spark plug wires on the way, so I'll have a matching set. I do have a set from a 164. It'll most likely work, but I think a nice new black set will do great. I've got a new throttle attachment there because it did pop out once. It's bent up quite a bit from age. And these lines, yeah, they look bad, don't they? It's one of those things where you spend so much time in it that you think, oh, it's fine, it'll be alright. And then you step back and you're like, oh, yeah, a little bit more needs to be done there. It's going to be hard to clean that up, but essentially I need a right angle for the left side that will point straight down, and then I will have my U shape. So I might actually pick up one of those tomorrow and just do that. And what else? There's foam everywhere, insulating things. There's my new fuel filter location. Some more wires I gotta clean up and tuck behind a sheath. Let's see. Yeah, it's going. Alright, time for bed. I'll continue in about 5 more hours once I've slept. So having that top hose kind of not vent, but it goes a little bit above the engine, so it's going to be working probably the pump a little harder to get that coolant all the way up over into the radiator and down. This was starting to overheat a bit, so I revved the engine up to get that coolant circulating, and it dropped right away back to center. Okay, we've just reached the 160 mark. Let's go wait for the fan. This is the override switch here. And then I also put in a kill switch for the fuel pump. While I was at it, cleaned up a few of the wires. All right. Don't let me down. Still waiting. Okay, it's hit 160. It's climbing. So there's the new sensor location instead of being at the bottom hose. It works! Hallelujah! Let's go watch it. I'm so excited to finally have a automatic manual fan business. So right about 170 is where that fan turns on. For the last 2 years I've been freaking out every time this gauge moves because that's with the lower hose, which should be a lot cooler. And this one's right there about, right at the edge of the middle. Oh man. If this doesn't do it, I'm gonna be so upset. The weird thing about this push fan, wired as a push fan, I'm not feeling a lot of air going through the radiator with it. But it's holding steady at the moment. The fan is on, temperature has not budged, and it's hot out. I'm gonna take it out for a drive, keep Tabby company at work, and then tonight we're gonna work on our door panels, finally get rid of the linoleum. Got something pretty cool in stock. It's gonna be a mixture of that material and that wood over there, and I think that's it. Also gonna cover up this with some sort of basic rudimentary headliner and get my dome light back on. All right, top hose is right at 170, engine's still sitting in the middle. All right, praise the Lord. So far so good. We'll go for a drive and then see what happens. Also, one more thing I might want to do is loop the radiator, not the radiator, but the heater hoses, so I don't have to have a heater going right now. It's an extra protection though for when you're on the highway and you need to open that up and get some cooling going on. Of course, at a 100-degree day. Actually, today is 94 degrees, but on a 100-degree day, if you have the heater going full blast, it's gonna be hot. But hey, we'll live. The cars might not, so there's that. Gentlemen, I almost cannot believe it. I am cruising. Temperature is right in the middle there. Our top radiator hose is at 170 degrees. Wow, this is a good day. I should be ready for this road trip. However, when I do come to a stop, it likes to sit right around 190. Now, this little gauge here says that the engine temperature is at the end of the green zone towards that last white zone. That's telling me that it's getting a little warm, but it's also telling me that it's a 40-year-old gauge, minus the fact that I've got this one right here feeding the top radiator hose, so I can't expect there to be too much of a difference in temperatures. However, it's looking pretty good. I'm very happy. So, yeah, so far so good. Fingers crossed. Although if you're watching this, it will do you no good to cross your fingers at this moment. Hope to see you in Estes Park. It's been fun. It sounds like I'm ending the video, but it's really just the middle of the day. So still got about 3 days of work ahead of us before we hit the road. And the rest of it's kind of easy stuff. Once you get the engine stuff figured out, it really comes down to visual things. Love you guys. You've been great. You may recall I had that little fuel pressure regulator on there that was fluid filled. It's a hydraulic fluid, and there's all of it there. Spectre brand, go figure. I went back into AutoZone to exchange it, and the one I grabbed off the shelf was even more leaky. That's a testament to quality right there. Anyway, so that was $40, so I returned it, and for $36 I got the dual feed line for carburetors with the janky little gauge, but it fits, and I can go home because I'm kind of stuck in the parking lot here. So that's almost laughable. Another thing that's really laughable, let me get it out for you. I did my plugs and wires. Well, today I did the wires, the cap, and the rotor. I'm not crazy about, the Duralast, because I had those nice IPD wires, well, 3 out of 4. But my rotors was really funny. If you know anything about rotors, there's supposed to be a metal contact right here that then bridges across and sparks to each individual cylinder. Well, there's no metal there. Metal's still in there, so somewhere along the line it broke off, and those are all burn marks from it arcing. So it ran, it made its way. Now it's a lot smoother. It doesn't have a weird blip in the idle when it's just sitting around, and everything seems really slick, champ. Alright, time to bolt this janky gauge up and be on my way. On today's episode of My Bad Habit, he just always keeps the garage floor dirty. And now he won't even cut his hair. And it's midnight, so that means it's time to get to work. It's time to rev up your refund. Hi, I'm Scotty Kilmer, and today we're going to make door panels. Are you tired of your car looking like crap? We're going to make door panels. That's my best Scotty Kilmer impression. I just had a Red Bull, so I'm going to be up all night. And I have work in 12 hours, so... That was the snap ceremony. I just made that up. Let's get to it. Here's a door panel. It's made out of wood. This wood is made from a tree, and more specifically, it's 2 millimeters thick, 2 feet by 4 feet. Luan. L-A-U-A-N. That's a great word. It's kind of like Llewellyn. I really like that name. Just got 2 more cats, actually, and I would have loved to name them something cool like Llewellyn and Cecilia. That's a cool name, yeah. Anywho, I've got my new Bosch jig bits for my reciprocating jigsaw. Got a door panel here. That's more than 2 millimeters. What are they talking about? Look at that's it's a pretty good size. Let's say it's at least 7 millimeters. It's 3. Yeah, it's 6 millimeters. It looks like 3 panels of 2 millimeter board put together. Door panel has a curve to it, right in the middle. Oh shoot, freaking roaches, man. Look at these guys. Get out of here. I need some traps. I should have bought poison. I was just at the pharmacy. Tomorrow I'm registering Arthur. I've got a vintage plate. It says 1967 on it. That's great. And so maybe I'll be up all night and just... Oh, I don't know. I think I might just be better off getting at least a few hours of sleep tonight. And then tomorrow, which is Thursday, the day before we leave... Terrible habit I have. I will go and just work all night that night and just get ready to go by 6 a.m. These bugs are everywhere. So, middle of summer, and of course the insects are out. I'm talking too much. Let's just get to work. Okay, floor's kind of clean. 1 hour update. Here we go. So working with wood is a little difficult in the sense that you've got a very non-malleable surface here. So the way I've had to sort of go around this issue is make these holes big enough, and then I would anchor it with these 2 screws. I'd go over here and put 1 screw in the corner there and mount this corner here. Basically get it where I like it. Now the holes are a lot bigger than this. They're probably the size of the head of the screw, but it's enough that I can get sort of an idea of where to go from here. And just to give you an idea of how it's going to look once it's all put together, the suede material that I use on the dashboard here, I'm going to be putting that on the upper half here. So it's going to be, I'd say, right at the bottom of the handle, and that would hopefully have a nice stitch. Tomorrow we'll see if Tabby gets around to that or not. And then on the bottom's just going to be exposed wood. It's going to have the screws. Of course they won't be this color, they'll be decorative. They'll be chrome with nice little washers. I still haven't figured out exactly how to mount them into the door because they're so wide. They're like M16 or 17 if they make them that big anyways. And all these top screws will be hidden. No, they won't be actually. They will be showing through the material. So we've got a total of, I think, 17 or 18 screws in here. That's a lot of screws for one panel. But if it's uniform, which so far it is, it should be all right. You see that one here's a bit strange because it's kind of off to the end compared to the rest of them. And yeah, I think it's going to look quite nice once it's all finished. So it's just about 1 a.m. Mountain Time. So the sun's just coming up in Oz. What else? These holes are going to be huge because that little right there where my finger is, that thing's going to sit as basically what sort of cut this groove here. It really needs to be recessed quite a bit, so I need that in the material, and it will rub against the suede because this door panel, I mean, it's going to be pushed in a bit. It's got some flex to it, which is what the plastic collars are for, these ones here. But I still need it to be recessed quite a bit more than that. So also the trim piece, the top panel there, you can't see anything, it's so dark. That top panel is going to cover that top end there. I had a Red Bull, but I'm a bit tired. Thought Red Bull was the thing out there. You know, all the kids are drinking it. You know, what's really working for me is NOS, N-O-S. New old stock. Is that right? Yeah? Yeah, I need to go get some water. Maybe a beer. Or 2. And see if I can stay up, because I'm getting sleepy after 2.5 days of not being up. My goal tonight is to get these, both the driver and passenger. I don't have enough wood for the back yet. I underestimated. But basically I want to get those lacquered up and get them to a good point where they're nice and slick on the bottom. And get my upholstery ready. Make sure it's all the cuts are made. And check that I've got staples to staple on the back side, in addition to poking the holes for all the screws. Yeah, so I'll have to assemble the door panels tomorrow. In the meantime, I can lacquer them and get the passenger side, which, this is me crossing my fingers, is an exact mirror opposite. I could just flip this panel around and it would be perfect, but we'll see in a minute here. Also, a good little tidbit is I've sprayed myself with citronella. Citronella is going to keep the mosquitoes away, in addition to making me smell like I'm camping. Also, it's an excellent way of cleaning up plastic faded headlights. However, it's only temporary. So here's an interesting development. I've noticed that the holes I've cut out are a little too large, shall we say. This is the color that goes on the back side there, and it's in such a way that it actually would push the material, and you could still rotate with the handle, you know, it would clear that. Essentially this would stay still. It's spring loaded like that, and you'd be able to rotate your cranks. So the issue that I've had is that I made the holes a bit large, and so there's this wear mark here. You can see that. That's where the handle was rubbing, right at this nub. So to basically solve that problem, I've cut it larger than I really need. So the material is going to go there, and it's going to end, you know, about at that screw level there, and essentially this will be pushing down on the foam, and I'll have room for my hand. I should have remembered that this may have pushed the wood far enough then that it wouldn't be an issue, but maybe it is going to be an issue either way, so hopefully that works. We're about 3 hours into it. It's 3 1/4, 3/16. The passenger side took like 20 minutes once you have the pattern for that. Oh man, I am so tired. 4 nights of this, it's really adding up. Alright, I really need to start doing work ahead of time instead of cramming it like I've been doing for the past several years. Okay, you know how it goes. We're all human. Unless you're a Gorgon, in that case, I can't really help you. Cool, so it's time for the good old-fashioned stain / lacquer. I'm using shellac. Traditional finish and sealer. Nice little amber color. We'll see how it looks. Methinks I just heard a large bug in my garage. That would not be good. It's kind of dark, but you can sort of tell that the color is a nice rich amber color. I think that's what they call it. Did a sample. I think it'll match my steering wheel perfectly. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest. It doesn't really look like much right now, but it's suede, it's nice. Synthetic. Don't you step on it. Nice try. I want to make sure the grain's going the right way so that I don't have panels that are opposite of each other. That would look bad. Don't you step on it. I just remembered it's called NAP. N-A-P. You see it's rough one way and smooth the other. I'm just trying to find out which way that is. Yeah, definitely this way. So I'm going to end today's update right there. I am really looking forward to this weekend. I'm going to be seeing you guys in Estes Park, so don't be a stranger, say hello. Make sure you remind me of your name, because I can't keep up with all of it. On top of that, what was I about to say? I work till 5 today, and then it's going to be another all-nighter. I'm going to be pretty tired, but it's going to be a good time. And I did meet someone today, shout out to Doug, who watches my videos. He's from whatever's west of Denver in Colorado Springs, and great guy. He's got an Amazon wagon, and he stopped in today, noticed me, recognized me at work, which is kind of funny. What chances, huh? Alright, thanks for watching. See you this weekend, and expect a cool video, all the nice, fun, exciting things we do at the Scandinavian Midsummer Festival.